In the 2000s, Super Mario Bros. Had the likes of AndrewG dominating the leaderboards. The 2010s gave us a wide range of new faces constantly competing back and forth. And now, we are in the 2020s. The last 3 to 4 years alone have given us so many new skilled faces in just this one single game. But today I want to talk about one specific person, Niftski.
I picked up Super Mario Bros. To speedrun because it was a game I played and absolutely loved during my childhood. I came across Super Mario Bros. Speedrunning from the YouTuber Summoning Salt and Bismuth, and this inspired me to start speedrunning the games, which slowly turned into a very fun hobby.
Sorry about that. I set my Summoning Salt video copier to above 30%. We should probably just get on with the actual intro. Today, let's talk about the one single teenager that sweeped Super Mario Bros. Unlike others I have talked about before, Niftski's history is all very recent, and everything I talk about in this video may just become the very beginning of a long history over the span of years upon years. Having already played the game many times previously, by the time 15-year-old Niftski first started properly highlighting his runs online, he was already starting to become what many would consider a pretty promising speedrunner. His first published run on his YouTube channel is a Super Mario Bros. Any% speedrun, clocking in at 5 minutes and 2 seconds, published on September 9th, 2019. Yeah, this history is very recent. The description said,
You think I didn't improve this trash?
So as you can maybe assume, this time was beaten pretty quick. The strategies the run went for overall were pretty solid, but if you take a brief look at World 8, this definitely wasn't the cleanest. Just the next day, Niftski came back to correct those wrongs, and entering 8-4 was a second ahead with some new best splits. He finished with a 458.375, which moved him 100 spots up, all the way to 52nd place. For someone who had just started submitting times, he was already progressing at a rapid rate, and these first 2 submitted runs were just the beginning. In order to get a time in the 457 range, which roughly only 40 people had achieved at the time, he started adding the infamous bullet bill glitch in the runs at the end of 8-2. This uses a bullet bill to stomp on, next to the base of the flagpole, and allows you to skip both the flagpole and walking animation to the castle. While Niftski by the end of September did finish a run with bullet bill glitch, he unfortunately wasn't fast enough to break a new second barrier, and was 1 frame off from doing so, with a 458.009. This would go on to be Niftski's least viewed any% personal best. At the very least, he could brag he moved up 10 more spots all the way up to 42nd. Being just a single frame away from an entirely new second barrier, it was easy to guess that Niftski would want to improve this more, even if just very slightly. If you know even the slightest about today's subject, you know this was obviously the case, and just days later got what he truly desired. On his very last run on October 4th, after failing 8-4 many times previously, he got a 457.959.
Finally! We did it!
This moved him up 5 more spots to 37th place, and according to the leaderboards, tied with Miniland, who is someone that over the course of the next couple of years will become just as prevalent as the person at hand today. This definitely won't be the last mention of him. Niftski's next step in steadily moving up the leaderboard was performing a flagpole glitch in 1-1. With the right subpixels and precise inputs, you can clip into the base of the flagpole and skip the flagpole animation. This time save sits right in between how much it takes to grab the flagpole normally, and how much a bullet bill glitch saves. The bullet bill glitch is only possible in 8-2 for any%, but you get my point. Just a week after his first 457, Niftski used a flagpole glitch to get a single frame roll, or 0.35 seconds ahead of his personal best. He kept this all the way to the end of 8-3, when he unfortunately didn't grab the very top of the flagpole, and lost the optimal frame roll. Entering 8-4, he was neck and neck with his best, and with a clean enough level, he could still save time against his previous.
Oh my god, dude. I'm not even mad, I actually just PB'd.
Being better than before, he clutched out a 457.660, now putting him at a tie in 24th. In just about a month, he had halved his placement counter by adding in time saves one by one. But what if I told you it would be just a mere 3 hours until he climbed up even further? In the exact same stream, he had a run that got flagpole glitch but failed to save the frame rule, which left him 0.35 seconds behind. He continued the run, and to save it, did yet another flagpole glitch in 4-1, and successfully bested his previous split. He was now tied with his very new best, and this time he grabbed the very top of the flagpole in 8-3. With an even better 8-4 performance, he ended up getting a 457.277.
Let's go! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Now sitting at a third-way tie in 15th place. After playing so much of one game over and over again, you'll probably get tired of going for the same thing. This happens a lot quicker, especially with a category such as Super Mario Bros. Any percent that clocks in at 5 minutes. A popular thing speedrun communities like to do is set up a list of alternate categories that are separate from the traditional leaderboards, and Super Mario Bros. Is no stranger to this. The Super Mario Bros. Category Extensions leaderboard houses 42 categories, spanning a wide array of goals. One of the most popular is 8-4 IL, which is an IL, or individual level, of the final level of the game, 8-4. What makes 8-4 special compared to any other level in the game is that 8-4 is the only stage where every frame counts, whereas every other level in the game relies off the frame rule system that counts every 21 frames. Due to every frame counting, there has been a huge fascination of seeing how far humans can stretch this run in real time. Thanks to the likes of tool-assisted runs, 8-4 had already been optimized to perfection, and ever since then, it's been a race to see who can get closer and closer to the perfect time. When Niftski started posting runs, the record sat at a 44.360 by Taven Webb 2002, who had become the new world record holder in any percent on August 2nd. While it definitely wasn't required, it's pretty common that all the top runners under 8-4 IL were also pretty decent runners at normal any percent, since this IL run is good practice for full game runs in general. Niftski started posting proper attempts at 8-4 IL, and on October 15th posted his very first one. You may notice from his webcam now being featured that this whole time he had been controlling the game just using a keyboard. This is the very first time we would properly see Niftski's keyboard controller setup while running, and this most definitely won't be the last. He scored a 44.543, which tied him in 9th place. He stated this would have been over 200 milliseconds faster than what was done in his any percent personal best at the time, and this definitely isn't anywhere close to the last time we'll talk about 8-4 IL. But before we talk about that more, Niftski did a few different things. With him still being a second and a half behind the record at the time, Niftski had plenty of potential frame rules to save across the entire game. With him already improving his best 8-4 time, he did the same thing in 1-2 using the 1-2G clip, and in 8-3 achieving a flagpole glitch. After combining all his fastest levels now, his sum of best was a 455.630, which was a tenth of a second faster than the record held by Taven. Following this, Niftski tossed in more any percent attempts. On November 17th, he finally posted a new time that got flagpole glitch in both 1-1 and 4-1, and started with a promising World 8. Due to his previous best failing 1-1 flagpole glitch, this put Niftski in a good position to get a 456. Casually watching 8-2, you may get confused why mid-level, Niftski gets upset at a specific jump.
Oh my god. Why?
This jump is the hardest jump in 8-2, and is commonly dubbed as Blant. Unfortunately, to get an optimal frame rule for bullet bill glitch, you were not allowed to slow down that much, and sadly that is exactly what happened here. He still nailed bullet bill glitch, but with the time loss, he was now tied with his best entering 8-3. Fortunately, his 8-4 IL practice paid off, and took off a very tiny sliver of time, 457.211.
Yes! Was that a PB? I don't know, dude. I'm gonna have to retime it.
Due to others improving their runs over the span of the previous month, Niftski was one position lower than when he got his last improvement, but was still comfortably in the top 20. After being one slight mishap away from another second barrier, Niftski was very capable of doing more, and he definitely knew that. For the next couple weeks, he both went for more 456 attempts, and even better individual level runs. By the 23rd, he became the 14th person ever to get the fastest 8-1 frame rule, dubbed Plate 1, after Stuck in a Plate, who became the first human to do it. At the time, this trick was still yet to be properly done in a real top run. He also on December 1st got the fastest 8-2 frame rule labeled TAS 8-2, which involves an even more precise blant jump. Thanks to this, his summa best was lowered to a 454.914. Besides being the second best at the time, this also means he hypothetically could get what has been figured out to be the last ever second barrier in the category. Riding off all these improvements, he chopped more time off his 8-4 IL, not once, but twice.
Oh my god.
With a 44.410, he moved up a solid 5 placements to 4th place. This also meant his overall summa best was even lower, now clocking in at a 454.798. Taking a slight detour, in November 2019, a Super Mario Bros. Any % tournament was being organized, and looking at the people who signed up, it was full of runners that would become only more notable as time went on. Honestly, it was a pretty stacked lineup. Niftski ultimately placed 9th out of the 24 players, after both winning and losing 2 matches. For his first proper time doing anything like this definitely wasn't a bad placement, and this for sure wasn't the last time he would participate in said tournaments. Taking a break from traditional any %, he started touching the miscellaneous minus world ending category, which abuses the infamous minus world glitch in 1-2 on the Japanese Famicom Disk System version. On December 8th, he scored a 6th place time, and with a 1 frame rule improvement on the 18th, got very close to the 3-way tie for 3rd that had been sitting on the leaderboard at the time. With ILs and miscellaneous categories out of the way, there was still one obvious thing Niftski wanted to get sooner than later, and that was a 456 any % time. With all of his IL runs, he proved he was capable of even getting a 454, so clearly this was more than achievable. On December 21st, after hundreds upon hundreds of more runs, he had a run exactly like his personal best, and with all his 8-2 practice, had a faster blant jump, and nailed Bullet Bill Glitch yet again. Playing very close to his low 457, it was more than enough to push a new second barrier, 456.878.
Yes! We did it! Oh my god! 8-5! Oh my god, wait, no! We got 878, because we got a lag frame. Oh my god, dude!
In the span of roughly 100 days, Niftski went from just another person starting out their Mario any % journey, to being just shy of the top 10, with a time that was the exact same as what the record was just over 3 years prior. As crazy as this already is, this is just the very beginning. 2020. To fill my comment bait quota for this video, I'll say this is the start of the next decade, and let everyone fight below. Anyways, unlike 2019 where there's only 3 months of runs, this time there's an entire year to cover, so let's not waste any time digging into the plethora of runs. The very first thing he posted in 2020 was a run of yet another miscellaneous category, and this time it was Minus World. Unlike Minus World Ending, which plays out all of Minus World on the Japanese Famicom Disk System version, this run uses the American cartridge, which simply loops the same -1 level over and over again. The time ends once you complete 1 loop of this level. The year previously, Alden speedruns had gotten what was believed to be the perfect run using the American version of the game, and after a handful of attempts, Niftski was able to get the same time, tying the record at a 135.576, which would get tied many more times, until... let's just get back to this during 2021. Besides category extensions, ROM hacks are also a fun way for players of a game to take a break while also kinda playing what they usually do. In this case, Niftski took some quick stabs at a hack called Super Mr. Krabs, with the any % category being pretty short, featuring only 6 levels. He had a brief back and forth with JT Knott, but he ultimately asserted dominance. Using a clip in 1-2 and setting the record multiple times, he set himself a solid second ahead of JT. While Niftski was still doing any % attempts to push his time even further, he was still working on multiple other goals between that. Just a day after his set of Super Mr. Krabs records, he got a 1 frame improvement in 8-4, which inched him 1 frame away from the top 3.
Yes! I got 8F! I got 8-4! I got 8-4!
Continuing with the miscellaneous content, he did more minus world ending, and a flagpole glitch in -2 allowed him to get a tied second place position.
Yes!
The major thing separating him from Sumwest, who had the record at the time, was a clip at the end of -3. Niftski additionally went for the record in 1 coin, which is a miscellaneous category in Super Mr. Krabs. I know, as if this game wasn't miscellaneous enough. Don't worry though, February was about to get crazy. It had now been over a solid month since Niftski had gotten his 456.878, but that doesn't mean he ever stopped trying. In between a couple of the runs I had just previously mentioned, he had a run that was on pace for a 456.4, thanks to a flagpole glitch in 8-3. This sadly died in the room where you turn around to do a wrong warp in 8-4.
No! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! No!
If he had scrolled the screen 1 pixel further, the wrong warp would have worked. In early February, he also posted another attempt where he sadly failed a minor improvement due to getting an impossible Bowser pattern in 8-4.
No, what? I think that was a PB!
Finally, on February 2nd, he got 1-1 flagpole glitch, 4-1 flagpole glitch, bullet bill glitch, and lastly nailed 8-3 flagpole glitch. He had been on such a pace before, but 8-4 stopped him in his tracks. Fortunately this time though, he both scrolled the screen far enough in the turnaround room, and had a possible Bowser pattern, which netted him a 456.545.
8-4! Oh my god, we tied Leon! Holy crap! Oh my god, we tied Leon! GG!
He was now less than a full second away from the record, and a single frame off of Darbian's previous world record that sat just above him. This now gave Niftski a top 10 position, and not just miscellaneous and extra categories, but he now finally had 7th place in one of the most coveted speedrun categories of all time, any percent. No matter how you slice it, you couldn't argue how solid of a runner Niftski was by this point in time. I mentioned not too long ago that in Minus World Ending that the only thing Niftski was missing in order to compete with Sumwest's record was a clip in -3. Within a couple weeks of his 2nd place run, he started implementing said clip. After nearly another 1,000 attempts, he landed 1-1 flagpole glitch, a clean 1-2 G clip, a perfect underwater full flagpole glitch in -1, one more flagpole glitch in -2, and lastly a wall clip in -3.
Wait. Dude, that was it! But I hit the timer! That was it! That had to be it! That had to be it! Oh my god! Oh my god!
231.800. He beat both Sumwest and GTA's, who had claimed the record just 1 week earlier. It may have been a miscellaneous category, but Niftski can now brag that he officially had a world record on the main Super Mario Bros. Leaderboard. Besides getting a few 457 times in Super Pixel Bros, which is literally the original game but further pixelated, Niftski started spreading his wings across many more categories. One of the most obvious things to try next for any runner heavily invested in any percent is to switch over to the warpless category, which requires beating every single level in the game. Between 2 improvements, he got a 1921, which landed him at 36 on the boards. That may not sound as impressive, but over 200 people had already run the category, and he had literally just started speedrunning the rest of the levels. This is just the beginning of Niftski's warpless journey. With just recently claiming a main record and inching closer to every other one, Niftski once again decided to chill briefly and ran some other category extensions. Remember, there's a lot. He first destroyed Soft Lock, which requires soft locking the game as quickly as possible. This can be done as early as 1-1, where if you keep rubbing against the walls, you can manipulate the screen position. If you grab the flagpole when it is at the very right side of the screen, the game basically has a stroke and just doesn't know what to do. He also ran 1-1 as Fire Mario, which, well, requires you to beat 1-1 as Fire Mario. In this case, he got a 5th way tie for 9th, which is only a small fraction of a second off the record. Being on a hot streak of running joke categories, he also returned to Super Mr. Krabs, where he improved the record 2 more times. He also played another Super Mario Bros. ROM hack named Toad's Adventure, Where's Mario, where he got both the any percent and no level select records. As amazing as hacks such as Super Mr. Krabs may be, getting back to more serious runs, Niftski the next week was doing more 8-4 IL attempts to try and move his time further up on the boards, and he was finally able to break into the two-way tie that was sitting above him with a 44.377.
We did it! We did it! We bounced back! We bounced back from the loss we got yesterday! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
This now put his sum of best at a 454.765, which at this point was close to 900 milliseconds faster than the actual any percent record. Speaking of any percent, 2 months since Niftski's last improvement, 1300 more attempts later, we would once again see something new. He was trying to shave off another frame rule, and this time he did it by going for a clip in 4-2, dubbed Blaze It. On top of saving a new frame rule, he saved a few additional frames in 8-4, and cracked a 456.129, putting himself a single frame rule away from cracking the top 3.
Yes! We lost a frame on Axe, but that's it! Yes! Yes! I don't even care! Holy crap!
You'll notice after the thank you screen, he went back to the title screen and held B to get back to World 8. So why'd he do this? Well, after beating the game once, you unlock a mode that has been dubbed Second Quest, which makes the game a bit harder. The most notable change is Goombas being replaced by Buzzy Beetles. Peeking on the category extension leaderboard, there is a category labeled Both Quests that requires you to beat 8-4 in, well, both quests. Keeping himself composed after just getting one of the fastest any percent times on the boards, he breezed through every level in World 8 again, and happened to not just get 4th place in any percent, but beat the Both Quest record at the time by over half a second. A more than impressive feat. Like we've already talked about before, it gets boring playing the same main games and specifically categories over and over again. So for the next few weeks, Niftski posted a wide variety of runs, including Toad's Christmas Adventure, Super Mr. Krabs, and lastly in April, got the record in 11 times any percent, which, well, requires you to beat any percent 11 times back to back. Starting the month of May was similar, with him getting the record in the category extension Beat 5-4, which tied GTA's who got the time on the same day. Most of these runs were a lot sillier than traditional categories, but no worries if you're not into that, because just around the corner, quite a lot was about to happen. Like he had done every so often, Niftski was doing some more 8-4 IL attempts, where he was still tied for second place. Earlier in the day on May 7th, Thriller37, who was a part of the second-way tie, happened to improve his run by 1 frame, and turn the record into its own two-way tie. Funny enough, later that night, Niftski had an attempt that he claimed he should have reset after the wall jump he got, but with a faster ending, it was enough to turn first place into a 3-way tie.
I got it! Oh my god! I can't believe it! I actually saved a flash through him!
After getting close to the top, if not being at the top of everything he did in Super Mario Bros., there was no arguing how quick Niftski was at picking up runs and getting a very respectable time. A game that a lot of Super Mario Bros. Players naturally pick up next is its more difficult cousin on the Famicom Disk System, the Lost Levels. Niftski was the next one in line to do this, as he quickly poured in hundreds upon hundreds of attempts. Looking at his splits, you can see that he had gotten a time of 8:20, but on May 10th, he pulled this off.
Oh my god, come on. Yes! Thank you, you freaking legend. Come on. Bowser. Bowser. Yes! Oh! Yes! Was that it? Was that it? Was that it? Was that it? Oh my god, yes!
Adjusting for loads, Niftski just barely got a 757, becoming the 5th ever person to break past this barrier. He could now brag that he was in the top 5 of not just the first, but the first 2 Super Mario Bros. Titles. Well, he may have been getting into the Lost Levels, but that doesn't mean Niftski was anywhere close to being done with the original game, as only 3 days later, he finally got an untied position and became the single world record holder of 8-4 IL, with a single frame improvement.
Yes! 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 I can't be too loud, but oh my god!
If May wasn't busy enough of a month, in the very last week, Niftski also scooped up top times in 2 more category extensions. He first got the record and won one as Fire Mario, and then 2 days later got 3rd place in second quest, which is similar to both quests, but you just play the second quest, starting in 1-1. In June, Niftski may have not gotten as many personal bests, but he for sure wasn't slowing down his activity. He started the month by releasing a tool-assisted run of a ROM hack called Super Mario Untold, and just after that scooped up the record in the Beat 5-4 category extension. Throughout most of the month, he posted a lot of miscellaneous clips. A handful of them are really cool highlights from 8-4 IL runs, since he was still messing around with that. He also pulled off a 456 without the use of bullet bill glitch, and then proceeded to get another 456 while getting fireworks in 8-3, something that just a few years ago would have been dubbed impossible. At the end of the month, Niftski went back to the minus world ending category, which still had a couple potential time saves to be done. This time, Niftski saved 4 frames with a 231.733, thanks to a clip in the final level.
Oh my god, was that it? There's no way.
Needless to say, he was still the king of the category. Already being halfway done with 2020, Niftski in his first 10 months of speedrunning had achieved as much as many people do in their entire speedrun career. With that being said, everything that I have already talked about is only a fraction of the entirety of what he has done leading up to the making of this. With Niftski having a low 456 now, he needed another frame rule if he wanted to unlock the same barrier everyone above him on the board did. He was back on the any percent radar and did a few different things, such as getting a 457 time in a race, and being able to do the fastest 8-1 and 8-2 frame rule entirely back to back. The next step in the any percent equation was doing the 1-2G clip named after AndrewG. While it wasn't always the most accurate, he was well past 10,000 attempts on his split counter, and required a hefty amount of tricks to improve much further. On July 18th, he would get 1-1 flagpole glitch, added 1-2G clip, perform flagpole glitch again in 4-1, achieve blaze it clip in 4-2, nailing bullet bill glitch in 8-2, one more flagpole glitch in 8-3, and lastly he had to have an 8-4 that was good enough to compete.
Yes! 8-3! Yes! 455! We did it!
455.846. He became the 5th ever person to pull off such an amazing feat, and at this point he was exactly 200 milliseconds away from the record at the time, which was a 455.646. He not only was just one of the top current players, but was most definitely already one of the best ever. I want to take a quick detour from the overflow of runs, because on July 19th, Eyeball1, another top Mario runner, uploaded a 3-minute video titled Niftski Out of Context. It features a small collection of clips from Niftski streams that are briefly edited. This getting over 8,000 views on its own is pretty monumental, because it shows how much of a community one speedrunner can build up, in Niftski's case, in such a short period of time. Oh yeah, and on the same day, Niftski casually improved his 8-4 IL record by another frame, which gave him another untied record after GTA's tied him the day before.
Yes! 8-8! Yes! I got it!
Entering August, he was doing the same for 8-4 IL, but in the lost levels. In certain ways, I think this IL is a bit more interesting. As early as the water room, it gets pretty funky after Niftski does a brief wall clip to manipulate the screen position. While doing 8-4 ILs, he was also doing full lost levels runs, and scooped up a 755, becoming the 4th ever person to achieve it, and also getting 3rd place overall. If there wasn't enough 8-4 action going on at the time, he also went back to the original Super Mario Bros. And you want to take a guess? If you guess that he improved his 8-4 IL record by another frame, then pat yourself on the back.
Yes! 8-9! 8-9!
Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
I freaking did it! I freaking did it! At 1:43 a.m. At 1:43 a.m.
Over the next month or so, he also expanded his category extension palette by getting 2nd place in 1 warp, which allows you to only use 1 warp zone. And also beat the record twice in any percent no coins, where he pushed the record under 5 minutes. The category is definitely an interesting challenge. He also improved his 11 times any percent record by a solid 20 seconds, with every run being under 5 minutes, until his last one, where he had a few hiccups in World 8. During this time, he also took part in another any percent tournament, in which he got 9th place just like the one we talked about last year. I guess that's his lucky number. At this point, you probably realize I talk about 8-4-IL here, a category extension here, and maybe a top any percent time between that. And trust me, the next 2 years will continue that in some fashion, but it's interesting, I swear. To prove that pattern continues, his first run in October was another 1 frame improvement in 8-4-IL, after being tied by Lakuki, Belixiano, and Trio 5. 2 days later, he got a 456 in second quest that landed him in second place. And psych, I got you. It's not any percent, it's minus world ending again. How do you not see that one coming? You're silly. Going for a faster ending in -3, he improved the record by just a handful of frames with a 231.650.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! No way! No way! That's a
Okay now, for real, let's get back to any percent. At this point, every time Niftski came back, he was looking for one new time save to incorporate in order to climb up the leaderboard. First it was Bullet Bill Glitch, then incorporating more flagpole glitches, and the most recent one being 1-2G. Well, taking a look at other potential frame rules, there were 2 untouched frame rules that humans had done in individual levels, but not in a top any percent run. Plate 1 and TAS 8-2. The frame rule that was chosen this time was TAS 8-2. Niftski's attempt counter at this point was already over 11,000 runs. He nailed the new TAS 8-2 frame rule for the first time in a proper run, got 8-3 flagpole glitch, and then...
Yes! Yes! 430! Oh my god! I lost a frame on Axe, I don't care! 455 to 430!
In under a year and a half, Niftski went from virtually being a nobody trying to understand the game more, to becoming the champion of one of speedrunning's most coveted goals. I hate to make this about myself as well, but this record was the very first edited speedrun video topic that I talked about on this very channel. While it definitely doesn't hold a candle to what I currently make, this run helped to lead to the kind of video you are watching today. Anyways, enough about me. At this point, Niftski could have put down the controller, called it quits, and he would have already been cemented as a legend. But a lot of legends are legendary because they really never quit. After getting one of speedrunning's most coveted gems, Niftski really didn't stop. During the rest of the month, he picked up a record in a ROM hack called Pets Cop, ran a category extension using a Game Genie code called ASIN, ran another ROM hack called Mario's Keep, a 1909 in Warpless which put him at 20th place, and lastly improved the record and won one as Fire Mario. With November being more than a hefty month after conquering any percent, you'd think that Niftski wouldn't follow it up with anything nearly as exciting before the year was up, but you'd be completely wrong. Starting the month, he not only got the record back in the Lost Levels 8-4-IL with a tie, but was doing any percent runs of the game once again. Niftski was still sitting in 3rd place after his 755 improvement, and demonstrating his world record capability in the original Super Mario Bros., the sky was the limit at this point for what Niftski wanted to do in any other run. Just a couple days after his 8-4-IL, he posted a run that showed him both being a second ahead of his run, and on world record pace after a huge time save in 5-2. Unfortunately, he ended up with a bad Bowser pattern that ended the run just milliseconds before it should have actually concluded.
No, what?
After almost conquering the Lost Levels as well, you'd be surprised to see that Niftski's next upload was not the Lost Levels, but back to the original game. After getting the world record only a month ago, Niftski was already interested in pushing it once again. Previously, he had the choice between incorporating the Plate 1 frame rule or TAS 8-2, but this time he only had one level to pick from. A common thing runners will do to practice challenging parts of runs is to start from a save state mid-run, and try to play it out as far as they can. This is the best middle ground between practicing individual levels and doing proper runs. Niftski in this case was starting from the beginning of 4-2, and trying to get as far as possible into World 8. On the 16th he was able to get 4-2 Blaze Eclipse, both the setup and flagpole glitch for Plate 1, TAS 8-2 with Bullet Bill glitch, 8-3 flagpole glitch, and a very commendable 8-4.
That's it! What? Oh my goodness!
If this was done in a real-time run, starting from 1-1, this would have clocked in at a 454.948, a time that was known to be possible thanks to individual level attempts, but something that still felt like a dream to most. Juggling both Super Mario Bros. And the Lost Levels, Niftski went back again to the latter and wanted revenge on Bowser, who killed his record time. His goal was a 7:54, but at the end of his stream on December 18th, he thought it was a fun idea to try and incorporate extra time saves that would push his time past another barrier, 7:53. To achieve this, he went for 1-1 flagpole glitch, a faster 1-2, 4-2 flagpole glitch, went for the same 5-2 as his failed run previously, and with a solid rest of the run, did this.
Oh my god! What? 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 How? 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 Oh my gosh!
753.936. He not only got what he should have had days before, but completely outdid himself and added 3 additional time saves he didn't even need for the top position. It's safe to say this record was going to stay at least for a little bit, unless Niftski did the same thing again. If Niftski's 2020 wasn't crazy enough, he also ended the year getting some times in the second quest and both quest warpless category extensions, and improved normal warpless a couple of times, landing him at 7th place overall. To end the year, Niftski also posted a Best of Niftski 2020 video that easily surpassed 10,000 views. With a new year comes new runs, and for the start of the year, Niftski more than delivered. His first run was another improvement in Minus World ending, where he used a cheap to clip into the ground. After this, he performed a full flagpole glitch. To get this cheap to spawn at the right time, he waits over 17 seconds on the title screen. Due to the clip saving 1.4 seconds, he opted out of both the 1-1 flagpole glitch and the clip in -3. This still allowed him to improve by over 200 milliseconds with a 231.434.
Let's go! 231.4! Yes! We got it!
He next put some attempts into the second quest category again, with his ultimate goal being a 4:55. He first got a time only 2 frames away from the record held by GTAce, and just 2 days later improved upon that by getting a 456.112. The 4:55 may have to wait, but he did claim the record. Keeping up the hot streak, he returned to Warpless and first got a 1902 getting 6th place, and just days later was able to crack another run, becoming the 5th person ever to finish the run in under 19 minutes, netting him a 3rd place ranking.
Yes! I got it! Yes! Let's freaking go!
Between both his Warpless runs, if that wasn't enough, he also did attempts at the glitchless any % category extension that uses Twin Galaxies Boomer rule set and took the record by a couple frames.
What? Was that it? There's no freaking way! I don't know what that was.
The rest of January, Niftski kept going category by category, scooping up a few more category extension records, doing more ROM hacks, and even submitting a decent run in the Flash game Red Ball. There's one single thing during January that stands out from the rest of these though, and it's this one video, Lightning 4 2-frame rule save, full level. After AndrewG's revelation years back figuring out that you could wrong warp to the warp zone in 4-2, that was thought to be the fastest for years to come. It wasn't until the late 2010s, with the discovery of the Blaze It clip, that people once again shaved time in 4-2. Even with the Blaze It clip though, this still couldn't compete against the performance the fastest tool-assisted runs had in the level. Humans obviously were not going to play 4-2 exactly how the task did, but with Super Mario Bros. Having a frame rule system, you didn't have to play perfectly. So what if there was another way to not just get the wrong warp, but somehow do it even faster? Back in August 2020, Niftski had already been messing with a new way to tackle 4-2 that was dubbed Lightning 4-2. I don't have the time to really go into the full history and technical of the 4-2 wrong warp, but there are some things you should know. Each time Mario does one of these bumps against a wall, he moves a varied amount of X pixels forward, with 11 being the maximum. This Lightning 4-2 setup requires an 11 pixel bump against this elevator shaft, and then does a backward facing wall jump against this pipe to get just enough pixels to reach 132. Doing a fast accel trick to gain speed entering the warp room, this is just enough to save the next frame rule that had originally been discovered in tool-assisted settings all the way back in 2004. After having close attempts at this in both July and August 2020, Niftski was scarily close to the last known frame rule save in Super Mario Bros., and finally on January 30th of the next year, he was able to achieve this.
Come on, man. Where's my 11 pixels at, man?
Oh my gosh! Please! Please! Yes! 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 Oh my god! I did it! Let's freaking go!
His sum of best was now a 454.332, beating anyone else's by a solid amount. He now could theoretically tie a tool-assisted run all the way to 8-4. Having a crazy start to 2021, Niftski had already displayed his skills by an unbelievable amount. In February, he kept the torch going by getting the record in both quests, doing more Red Ball, and finally on the 27th had this.
Yes! Yes! I freaking got it, dude!
Another 8-4 IL improvement. He untied the record once again, and lowered his sum of best to a 454.315, just one frame away from the last 100 millisecond barrier possible. He ended his description saying,
Unless I hate myself enough to go for the same run but with frame 64,
one frame faster than what he had done here.
this will be my stopping point for this category.
Pushing the limits of the game further and further, it seemed like he never knew when to stop. In March, the only full runs he posted was an improvement to 1-1 as Fire Mario, and yet another return to Super Mr. Krabs. But there was still one more thing. Between working on the likes of Lightning 4-2 and 8-4IL, Niftski was hungry for further improvement in the any percent category. He had already played a 454 from the beginning of 4-2, but he was getting more and more serious, and was doing more proper attempts now from start to finish. On March 20th, he posted a run that got 1-1 flagpole glitch, 1-2G, 4-1 flagpole glitch, 4-2 blaze clip, plate 1, TAS 8-2, 8-3 flagpole glitch, and then...
I don't care, just get world record, I don't care. We'll get 455 a different day. Whatever, dude, I don't care. No, what? I'm too nervous, dude. Oh my god, whatever.
He unfortunately had a non-optimal wall jump, but even with that, he was on a pace for a very low 455. Sadly, nerves got the best of him, and didn't exit the water right away. He still got a 455.480, but just before that, he was moments away from breaking the last second barrier known to anyone. If you've picked up on all of Niftski's patterns at this point, after experimenting a lot with segments of a game, it's usually a good sign that he was about to destroy it, and that was exactly the case once again. In February, Miniland had pushed the record to 455.230, but the beginning of something else was just around the corner on April 7th.
And thank you for the follow. Eight for 12. That is 66%. Let's go. I don't remember the last time I unironically 5-parked. 3 for 3? Let's go, dude. Remainder 1 again. Holy cow. Alright. Come on, dude. Stay calm. AD, I think. Holy cow. Wait, what? 8F.
Oh my god! Yes! Yes, dude! What? Oh my god!
454.948. The first person to break the last second barrier. Going back a year and a half ago, not a single person could have guessed the name Niftski when asked about future world record holders. But at this point, Niftski had 2 records on the main Super Mario Bros. Leaderboard. This is quite a large feat, but what if I told you this would grow even further, and it wasn't even a week later? On April 11th, he improved the 11 times any percent record that featured 7 458s. But that isn't even the large feat I want to talk about. The very next day, he was doing runs of Warpless, with his goal being to crack into the 1858 second mark. At the time, the only person to achieve this was Jeremy MKW back in March. In order to do this, Niftski, unlike Jeremy, was incorporating the bullet bill glitch into the category. All it took was the right run, and finally, we got this.
I'm so freaking nervous, dude. Oh my god, please. Please, please, please. Oh my god. This is it. This is it.
Yes! Oh my god, yes! Oh my god! No way!
1858.658, beating the previous record by over 200 milliseconds, with the second 1858 ever. He now had the record in every single NES main leaderboard category. No matter how you slice it, Niftski was the new king of Super Mario Bros. After so many amazing runs in such a short period of time, it was remarkable how Niftski was able to surprise everyone every single time what he was capable of. With him improving the Lost Levels 8-4 record twice to round off the month, he had a 30-day period that most speedrunners could only dream of having. With Niftski getting record after record at this point, he had built up a pretty decent following and community. With anything he posted at this point getting thousands of views, tons of people were constantly interested in seeing what barrier he would break next. On Twitch, where he streams most of his runs, he got a verified badge and became a Twitch partner on May 4th, which is a major milestone that every creator on the platform dreams of being able to achieve. He did a stream on this day to celebrate, with the most notable thing being a ROM hack titled Pets Cop. While this run may not be too special, the next day would present quite the opposite case. More Lost Levels time, baby. Niftski already decimated Super Mario Bros. Any percent, and now it was time to do the same with the Lost Levels. Like in the original game, Niftski would add in individual frame rules, one by one, to slowly shave off his time. Or I guess in this case, Niftski liked shaving off multiple frame rules when he skipped a 754. On May 5th, he included a clip in 4-4 that got him a 753.570.
Yes! Let's go! Let's go!
Just a couple days later, he added another flagpole glitch in 5-1, had a faster vine climb in 8-2, and this was enough to not just take the record back from the 2 others that had taken it, but bring the category past another barrier.
Yes! Oh my god! 8-2! I did it! First day!
752.721. Over a year later, this is still the current record as of mid-2022, and for good reason. The run at this point was more than difficult. After demolishing both Super Mario Bros. And the Lost Levels Any percent multiple times, it's definitely hard to do something more impressive than that. But nonetheless, Niftski as always was continuing to do more and more runs across the game. For the rest of the month, he ran more ROM hacks such as Among Us Bros, NES Super Mario All-Stars, oh, and of course, he had to go back to Super Mr. Krabs. He did still have 2 more really interesting runs by the end of May. On the 21st, he got the first ever 455 in the second quest category, and 5 days later on the 26th, improved his Minus World ending record by over half a second thanks to adding the clip in -3, on top of the already difficult -2 full flagpole glitch.
Yes! Let's go! Let's go!
June was an extension of what Niftski had been doing during the middle of the previous month, with more runs on Among Us Bros and Super Mr. Krabs, but in between, he did still find the time to improve the 8-4-IL in both Super Mario Bros.
Yes! 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 Yes!
And the lost levels.
Yes! Finally!
He also, in between this as well, did a few runs of the Walkathon category extension that is normal any percent, but you can't run the entire time. On the 25th, he took the record with a time a bit under 7 minutes. July was pretty much the same, with more ROM hack runs and a couple more Lost Levels 8-4s, but there definitely is some more to talk about. On the 2nd, he was still doing more Walkathon runs, and improved his time by another 2 seconds. 4 days later, on the 6th, he went back to not the Minus World Ending category, but the Minus World category extension. You may remember far back when he got the record, this was dubbed as the perfect run that many other people tied. And it was true. Until it wasn't. Periwinkle made the discovery that you could adjust Mario's subpixel positioning. With a fast enough exit in 1-2, if you entered -1 holding down plus right, and swim on the first frame you touch the ground, you can save an individual frame. After this discovery, the same thing as before happened, and at least 14 people including Niftski tied this run once again, using the new tech. Besides also beating the Beat 5-4 record, within the same week, Eyeball posted the long-awaited sequel to Niftski's Out of Context, which honestly I think is even better than the first.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Go give that a watch. With Niftski's first run in August being another ROM hack, not too long after he switched things up and did a co-op any percent run with Smith TV, where they both beat the game back to back in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. A week later, of course, he would do more 8-4-IL in both games, with his improvement in Lost Levels being what is currently thought to be the fastest possible time a human can perform.
Yes! 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 Finally!
With Super Mario Bros., Niftski would also go on to say that this was likely to be his last 8-4-IL improvement ever, and wished it goodbye.
Yes! Yes! Goodbye! Goodbye, it's over!
It was the end of an era. Maybe. Niftski would keep challenging himself in different category extensions, such as getting the record in 1 warp, and getting a 457 in the category Pacifist, which means you can't hit a single enemy during the run. He also at the end of the month experimented with second quest runs a bit more. Entering the very beginning of September, Niftski was on the warpless grind once again. GTA's had taken his 1858, with an 1857 just a single day after, but Niftski was ready to finally do the same. With a few new frame rules, he was the king again with an 1857.610.
Yes! World record! Yes! Yes! Let's go!
This is Niftski we are talking about though. Only 5 days later, this happened.
Oh my god.
Bowser, please! Yes! 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 1856! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes! Holy crap! Oh my god! Oh my god!
1856.911. Niftski once again held every single main record on the NES leaderboards. After dominating the entire game again, he got the record in the Pacifist category, and took place in another any percent tournament. This time he finally broke the 9th place curse, and this time got to 5th. Getting record after record, and continuing to dominate the boards, Niftski somehow never stopped, and did just as much for the remaining months of 2021. In October, he got records in Second Quest Warpless, Beat 1-4, any percent blindfolded, 10 wall jumps, and multiple ROM hack records. On top of all the records, he also got a 10th of a second off in glitchless, and on top of that, did more red ball. Between these achievements, he also started going for faster ILs that lowered his sum of best in warpless. By the end of the month, his sum of best was already at 1843. Going to November, he saved many more frame rules for his warpless sum of best, and made a demonstration of an 1839 that consists of spliced segments combining all his fastest level times. Besides this, he would also get another ROM hack record in Super Mario Bros, and improved both the Pacifist and both Quest Warpless records. With the last couple months still being very action-packed, but debatably a bit more tame, it was about time to get things fired up again for the very last month of the year. You know how Niftski got the any percent record with the first ever 454? Well, Minilands got the second ever 454 on August 8th, and on November 8th got a second 454 that was good enough to beat the record by 2 frames. During this time, Niftski had been on the grind to try and improve this even further with a 454.8 time. Day by day, and week by week, his attempt counter would go up and up, and then on attempt 14,941, this happened.
AFO. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Thanks for good luck, Bistic. That looked kinda weird. Something about that warp zone just looked kinda weird. Literally, as soon as I write release late, it works. Wow, what a coincidence. Okay. That's really bad. It saves. It saves. It should. We're good. Alright. Let's go. Nice. R1. Okay. No way. E9. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. This is not for real. Oh my god, it's 8i, I think, I don't know. Yes! 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 454.881! 454.881! No way!
But the story doesn't end there. Niftski immediately re-entered World 8 with second quest enabled.
Oh my god, get both quests, get both quests.
And then...
Yes! Oh my god!
Niftski both reclaimed the any percent record with a better 454, and a new both quest record within the exact same run. To do this at all was crazy, but to do it on a run as advanced as this was even more unbelievable. Niftski definitely deserved a nice break after such a feat, and for the rest of the year, mainly only posted some runs and individual levels of a hack called Super Bob. With that, the year was finally over, and Niftski posted another short 3-minute compilation of every single achievement he had gotten that year, and it was definitely quite a lot. 2022, another year. While I'd love to go on as long as last year, as of making this, we are only halfway through the year. But hey, that doesn't mean Niftski has stopped running, not in the slightest. Starting off in January, he started doing a full-on grind of attempts in any percent, but on the All-Stars version. In the span of a couple days, he got a 459,
Yes! Oh my god!
multiple 457s,
Yes! Oh my god! Yes! 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 What?
What the hell? What the hell?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
and his last run on the 4th was a 456.828, just enough to beat the record holder at the time, Nolmi, by 100 milliseconds.
Yes! Yes! 456! Oh my god! Yes!
His two other focuses for the month were constantly trying to lower the newer category extension Pico AP, which adds water swimming physics to every level, and his other being lowering the glitchless any percent record further, which he did on his first try using a faster 4-2 frame rule.
Oh my god, that's one. Wait, what? Hold on. That's it, that's actually it! Oh my god. Wait a second. Done 70! Yes! No, I'm showing everything. I'm showing everything right now. I'm showing everything right now. I'm showing everything right now. I just fluked it first try. Okay.
In February, he continued on with Pico AP, lowering it past another second barrier, and went harder in both second quest and 11 times any percent. This time he got a 458 every single run. Besides that, his most interesting highlight was him doing more practice sessions from the beginning of 4.2, where he was incorporating the Lightning 4.2 frame rule. Just watch this.
So, can you stop playing the game now? I mean, like,
5 someday.
it's getting so late that it's getting early, Niftski. Alright, sweet.
Barmender.
Go.
Oh, 1-0. Excuse me? What is that?
It's so slow.
Nothing?
Okay.
Okay. Dude. Oh my god! 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 There's actually no way. Dude! 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 I can't be loud. I can't be loud. Dude, no way. 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 No way.
If this was a real run starting from 1-1, it would have clocked in at a 454.382. If someone simply told you this anytime before this point, you'd probably laugh, but it actually happened now. It may not happen in a full run for a bit, but hey, we know it's possible now. Shifting to March, we got some more action on the main leaderboard again. In Niftski's last Minus World ending run, he had opted out of the 1-1 flagpole glitch, as the clip in -3 saved so much time. Now though, he was ready to get every time save he could. On the first, he started out with a 230.402.
Is that it? Yeah. Oh, no, I missed up 3!
And then in the same session got a 230.319, thanks to a way faster clip.
Yes! 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 Let's go!
As of making this is still where the record stands, but Niftski in the future wants to get a 230.2 by using a fast excel setup in -3. On the 5th, he also posted a video titled 8B First Room Frame Save RTA. On the quest to become perfect in 8.4, Niftski over the months, and at this point years, had been shaving frames in this one level, but certain frames were harder than others. Interestingly, he was using a controller for this time save since it was a lot easier than keyboard. Wakuki was already able to achieve this back at the end of February, and became the first ever person to tie the task. This one single frame saved in the first room is the final part of the equation needed to get what is agreed to be the perfect 8-4. Niftski constantly poured in attempts after showing how feasible it was, and on March 15th we got to witness this.
How many times I should have been? Because I could be ranting for literally hours. It's alright, because we're getting it this round. Right? Oh my gosh, dude, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yes! 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 I did it! It's over! Oh my god! Oh my god!
44.227. It is completely impossible to beat this with intended game and controller behavior. It may have been a common joke to throw around, but in some ways, Niftski really was the human task. If this wasn't impressive enough, Niftski for a while had also been messing with playing the game using only one hand. At the time, the record was a low 459 by Jeremy MKW, but on the 24th, Niftski outdid himself once again, with the first 458. Continuing on some fun challenges, Niftski in April went back to the ROM hack Pets Cop and performed what is thought to be the fastest possible time in the any percent category, and also got the records in both any percent no coins and warpless no coins. With all the original Super Mario Bros. Action, it was apparent that Niftski, like the many other times throughout this video, always returned to the lost levels. Instead of any percent, he took his stab at the warpless 8-4 category and achieved a 2144, which landed him in 4th place at the time. In a category like this, getting anywhere in the 21 or 22 minute range is really impressive. A week later, he played a bunch of All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros., which was an official ROM hack only given out through a radio contest in the 80s. He got the record not once, but twice. He even went as far as going for the plate 1 frame rule. Niftski was constantly looking to optimize every little thing he could, and if you take a look at the handful of individual level runs he had posted previously in the past, it was obvious that the warpless category still had a lot of room to go. With hundreds of more attempts, he added in a couple more flagpole glitches and a faster 4-4 in order to get this.
What? 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 Crap, I spilled water. What?
Welp, it was a world record, that was undeniable, but Bowser unfortunately blocked him from reaching in 1855. As sad as this was, we only had to wait 24 hours for what Niftski was really looking for.
Yes! 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 1855! Oh my god! I beat the pattern I died to yesterday!
1855.929. Another second barrier was destroyed, and in the description, Niftski even hints at possible ways to next achieve an 1854. While the 1855 is still the current record as of making this, it's safe to say this category is still not done. With already having so many major feats back to back, and not even being halfway done with the year, Niftski never knew how to slow down, because before May was over, he not only grabbed 2 more ROM hack records, but improved his one-hand record down to a 457 thanks to the likes of the bullet bill glitch. June 2022. It's been a short but very deep journey, and as of making this video, we are in the final month of today's story. Since we are talking about a still very new and active player, the story is still constantly being written, and while making this video, I have had to add a couple more things. In June, he once again, with a few more frame rule saves, lowered the 1 warp category extension. And since then, he had been practicing a lot of the lost levels. On the 14th, he posted a run from his first ever session going for a 751, but he ultimately went for strategies that would be needed for a 750 due to how much time was lost during the run. He ultimately was still on pace for a high 51, all the way to 8-4, where unfortunately,
No, what?
he lost the run to this firebar. Since this is so recent, not too much has happened since, but safe to say, something will happen sooner rather than later. Before fully wrapping things up, one final thing Niftski has done while I've been scripting the entire project is doing co-op runs. In Super Mario Bros., if you select 2-player on the title screen, you can, well, play with 2 players. Once Mario either beats the game or dies, the game will pass to Luigi. Starting on the 16th, Niftski had another top Super Mario Bros. Runner, Nebula Composer, come over and do a bunch of co-op runs together. If you question his skill, then I'll present to you Nebula's 3rd place any percent and 6th place warpless times as of making this. Combining these skills with Niftski leads to a very lethal team. What made these runs easier too is that both runners also use the same exact keyboard, the Logitech G815 RGB mechanical gaming keyboard with GL clicky switches. Say that 5 times fast. Over the course of 48 hours, this speedy duo was able to beat the co-op any percent record multiple times, totaling 3 seconds. And the warpless co-op record by 7 seconds. Within an hour of finishing the script, Niftski posted a sub 3 time in Red Ball after grinding the run a bit recently, but besides that, this is where the story ends as of June 21st, 2022. Only being active in the community for not even a full 3 years at this point, Niftski has done just as much for speedrunning as some people may do in 10 or maybe even 20 years. While it may be hard to judge what the entire 2020 decade will look like for Super Mario Bros. Speedrunning, it's hard to argue that Niftski won't be a giant part of that. With him only being 18 still, he still has so much potential ahead of him, and I can't wait to see what he does next. Honestly, it's criminal to see his YouTube channel not even have 10,000 subscribers yet, so while you're here, go subscribe to him on YouTube and follow his Twitch if you haven't already. Anyways, that has been the entire first few years of the quick rising Super Mario star, Niftski. Thank you so much for watching.